Hello, students of Standard 6. Today we shall study Science chapter number 4, Disaster Management. And I myself, Master Zakir Hussain Deshpande, will help you to understand this chapter. So let's start with a chapter called Disaster Management. Chapter number 4, Science Disaster Management. Before beginning with this chapter, you should know what is the meaning of disaster. Children, in the picture you can see there is a lot of destruction. The houses are crumbled. There is a destructions, and even you can see the landsliding there in the next picture, below that picture of the houses, how they have been destructed. A sudden event that causes large scale damage to the life, property, and social aspects of a nation or society is called a disaster. Disaster is a sudden damage to life. It can be for living organism like plant, animal, the property. Here you can see in the picture the property, the house, and social aspect of nation or society where you stay. There is a sudden event that causes large scale damage. There is a damage to the life, property, and social aspect of a nation or society is called a disaster. In 1993, many people died due to the earthquake at Killar in Latur district. This was very much remembered by people of Maharashtra. It was havoc for them. It was very destructive for them. Even today, people of Mumbai shudder at the memory of the July 2005 when many people had lost their lives in deluge, that is flood caused due to rain, heavy rains. So, Killaris in Latur district got an earthquake. It was affected badly. You can see in the picture, first top picture next to this slide, next to this content. Below that is in July 2014, the whole village of Malin in Ambegaon, Taluka of Pune district was destroyed in a matter of minutes due to a landslide. Landslide you can see down the next picture. Many got buried under the heaps of soil and stone and lost their lives. So automatically the landslide converted people to graves. They died. They were buried in the soil. In November 2015, many people died due to flooding caused by heavy rains in Tamil Nadu. All these three events, they are naturally occurring. So, natural occurring, but they are disasters. They are causing havoc, destruction to or damage to the life, property, and social aspect of a nation. That's why they are called as disasters. Children, in the picture you can see the road, there are the tremors, there is a breaking down of road. Disasters are of two main kinds, two types. Mainly they are of two types, man-made and natural. Seismic waves leading to the movement of Earth's surface like tremors, shaking or cracking up, etc. Such vibrations or quaking in the Earth's crust is known as an earthquake. Earthquake causes tremors. It causes buildings to collapse. So why it is happening? Because of seismic waves. These are the waves which are generated inside the earth. It causes heavy shaking, cracking, vibration. Such vibration, cracking in the earth crust is known as an earthquake. It is believed that besides other causes, man-made causes like mining and construction of big dams can also lead to earthquakes. So disaster, if earthquake occurs, that can be also due to man-made changes, that is man-made mining, man-made construction of big dams. So natural as well as man-made disasters we have studied. Effect of earthquake, destruction of infrastructure, that is building, bridges, roads, railway tracks, etc. These are destructed, uprooted. The railway tracks are uprooted. Change in the direction of the flows of rivers, huge loss of life and property. So earthquake causes havoc, heavy destructions. First disaster study is floods. As you see in the picture, many houses are they are sinking in the water. Frequency or frequently occurring natural disaster in all parts of the world is floods. Flood is caused due to excessive rains in the same place. A river overflows its banks, causing a flood. The water drainage system in big city falls short when there is a heavy rainfall, resulting in choking of gutters and drainage lines. In Mumbai, when it rains heavily, we experience floods. Every season we experience floods. So, a frequently occurring natural disasters in all parts is flood. And why it is caused? Due to excessive heavy rains, and it chokes. The drainage system is choked. That is one of the reason in Mumbai why flood occurs. Effects of floods: huge loss to life and property, soil erosion, destruction of standing crops. After effects of floods, like spread of diseases and epidemics affecting the health of the people. So flood causes heavy loss to the human life as well as property of others. Next disaster we'll study storm. Storms and forest fires. Storms 1. The formation of high and low air pressure belts in the atmosphere causes changes in weather, resulting in strong winds or storms. So, whenever there is a high or low air pressure in the atmosphere, it will cause storms or winds or storm. Effects of storm: great damage in the storm affected region, tremendous losses to life and property, disruption of electric supply, disruption of transport and communication. Wherever storms occurs, there is a heavy loss to human life, to life of others and property. There is disruption. There is a power failure. There is disruption of transport and communication. Next is forest fire. A forest fire is an uncontrolled fire in a forest, pasture or grassland due to natural or man-made causes. Forest fire spread at tremendous speed. Effects of forest fire: great damage to natural wealth and biodiversity, pollution of air. So, if forest catches fire, it is called forest fire, and it can be natural or it can be man-made. Loss is heavy to the natural wealth as well as it causes pollution of air. Storms and forest fire we study, children. Now, after studying this floods, storms and fire, let us study about disaster management. We have studied how disaster occurs and what are the effects of those disasters: floods, storm and forest fire. Now, let us try to understand how we can manage the disaster. So, disaster management we study. Community participation and disaster management are closely related. They are related to each other. Taking steps to prevent disasters, making plan to face disasters, developing the capacity for that is called disaster management. So, taking steps, you have to prepare for disaster, be prepared, taking steps to prevent them, to face disaster and developing the capacity for that is called disaster management. You are managing how to fight against disaster, how to prevent disasters. You plan something which can stop disaster. That is called disaster management. To prevent or reduce damage caused by natural or man-made disasters, emergency planning and management is required. So, what are the remedial and preventive measures? Keep watching TV and radio news and bulletins whenever disaster occurs. Use battery operated radios and mobile. You can see in the picture there is a laptop imd.government.in. That is a government site which can update you on any disasters. Heed the warnings issued by meteorological department carefully. Heed means to pay attention. Use the website as I mentioned, www.imd.government.in. Landslides occurs in hilly area due to cloudburst or heavy rains. On such occasion, do not take shelter at the foot of a hill. During floods, do not linger in a house or in areas on river bank. Seek shelter in some other safe places. Move to safer places at a greater height. Do not step into the water currents or drive a vehicle into them. So avoid driving when flood occurs. During an earthquake, road splits upon the road, the ground cracks, railway tracks get uprooted. Hence, when moving from one place to another, ensure that the road is safe further on. Take shelter in a relief camp. You can see in the picture relief camp. Camp is organized by the government as they provide medicine, food package, drinking water, first aid, etc. So these are the remedial and preventive measures during disaster. Any fire erupts out, you can use fire extinguisher to stop that, extinguish that fire. First aid. Children, we have studied in the previous classes about first aid. In a day-to-day life, sometimes we have to face disasters or accidents of varying proportion. On such occasions, it is necessary to give some immediate aid even before medical treatment becomes available. So, any help, or help means your aid is given to the patient or to the victim before the arrival of doctor is called first aid. First one, external bleeding. If a person is bleeding, first make him sit or lie down comfortably. Keep the bleeding part of the body above the level of the heart and clean it with water. You can see in the picture. That way you can do. Burns and scarred, minor burns. The injured part should be washed with water or held under water. Give the victim water to drink. Clean the wounds using a cotton swab soaked in an antiseptic solution. Do not apply oily ointments. Cover wounds using by dry dressings. Next is snake bite. There are nearly 2000 species of snakes. Of these, only a few like cobras, kraits, vipers and sea snakes are poisonous. Therefore, all snakes bites are not fatal. They are not poisonous. However, fear causes severe psychological shock which can result in death. If you come across a snake, contact a Sarpamitra rather than killing the snake at once. Fourth one, sunstroke. When we work in the sun continuously for a long time, the body loses a lot of water, minerals. This is due to sunstroke. What will be the remedial measures? Take the patient to a cold place or in the shade. Sponge the whole body with cold water. Place a cloth soaked in cold water on the neck. Give plenty of water or liquids like sherbets to drinks. Remedial measures, children, I didn't mention. Remedial measures for snake bite. Wash the wound with water as you can see in the picture. Give emotional support to the patient. Tie a cloth tightly above the wound. Get immediate help or medical help. Go to the doctor immediately. So these were the different kind of disasters which takes place during your day-to-day life. So how to overcome that? How to take preventive measures, remedial treatment, that is given in this slide. Next is fifth one, serious burns. Give emotional support. Cover the wounds and sterilize cloth. Remove jewelry, shoes, etc. if possible. Do not touch or burst the blister on the skin. Do not apply oily ointment. Do not try to remove the cloth if it is stuck to the burnt skin. In the picture you can see the boy is burned and the other person is covering with a blanket. So in such cases you have to cover with the blanket so the fire can be extinguished, but don't try to remove his cloth. Sixth one, dog bite. In a dog bite there is a risk of infection through the blood. Hence first aid and medical help are necessary. And what are the remedial measures to be taken during dog bite? Wash the wound with a solution of potassium permanganate or other antiseptic. Cover the wound with a clean and dry cloth. Get a doctor's help and an injection of the anti-rabies vaccine. So these were the 6 types of disasters or accidents which you come across, and you can prevent them. Don't forget, children, on the top, contact them for the disaster management. These are very important numbers. This are helpline numbers for you. Police number is 100, fire brigade is 101, ambulance is 102, disaster management cell is 108. So those helpline numbers will help you in your daily life. With that, we finish the chapter. We have studied about disasters like flood, just a recap, flood, storms, and forest fire. Then also we have studied about snake bite. We have studied about dog bite. We have studied about external bleeding, sunstroke, etc. Last but not the least, homework, children. What are the emergency contact numbers of the following? Police control room, fire brigade, ambulance, national level single emergency number for disaster relief. Next is answer the following questions. What is meant by disasters? What are the types of disaster? What is meant by disaster management? Children, I expect you to do homework sincerely and seriously. Thank you.